What is up, everybody? This is Adam with PCP Media, and I apologize for the poor production value. I'm just using my cell phone, but I had to get this out there. This is huge. 3 hours ago, on April 22nd, 2020, Donald Trump tweeted, "I have instructed the United States Navy to shoot down and destroy any and all Iranian gunboats if they harass our ships at sea." Now, having been deployed on the USS New York in 2012, when we went through the Straits of Hormuz, we were harassed by Iranian gunboats, and I imagine that something happening 8 years ago was not uncommon. Probably happened way before we were there. Is going to continue now, or has continued for that last 8 years. And if they went through with this, then we would end up in a war. Why would we end up in a war? Oh boy, what timing, huh? When our unemployment is predicted to hit at least 30%, when there's so many people in my state. I know that at least 1 in 6 are currently unemployed, and these numbers are likely to rise. At my job, my manager is sending me stuff to keep. I got denied on a purchase of a sale just because I tried to get some ink toner and some soap for the office. Everyone's tightening up. Companies are tightening up. This is getting some perilous times, and there's a lot of people right now who are in, trying to go to food banks, and they're in line miles long on the highway. Those are food lines. These are bread lines. Do not think that what happened in the 30s is not happening again, because it's actually going to be worse, because we now have over a century of devaluing the dollar. And what's just the other day, oil was negative. Oil futures went negative, so they'd have to pay to give away their oil. So that's obviously they're not going to do that, but they're running out of place to put oil. So we're looking at the oil industry collapsing. Meanwhile, while we're all happy to be able to get gas for I think it's like 165 here, but that sounds great, except no one has anywhere to go because they don't have jobs. Very few of us are fortunate enough to still be working. And if you are still fortunate to be working, consider this: you're lucky, but don't think that your job that's called essential now may not become unessential later. I've already figured out how my company is going to find ways to start cutting people from our essential service that we do, our essential infrastructure, and ultimately it's not going to be pretty. So more people are going to get unemployed, and even if you think things are lightening up, the economic ramifications are going to be felt for years. So ergo, one way that we distract people from an economic depression is we go to war. Oh boy, and Iran would not be a fun one, guys. This is not Iraq. This is not some of the other crappy countries that we've invaded. Do I think we could win? Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. But that doesn't mean that this happens in a bubble. While I absolutely believe we could militarily just knock out Iran, they have friends. And we would be disrupting the entire Middle East even more than it already is after the last 20 years of war that we've had over there. And guess what? We've been at war for 20 years. Do we need to be at war for another 20 in the Middle East? What are we going to get out of there? Other than perhaps a distraction from the economic problem that we have here. They may go, well, we better go to war over there, or else we're going to have a war with ourselves. And I that's not hyperbole. You could see this country, without unification, as divided as we are, as divided as it seems to be continually getting with rhetoric. You could see the balkanization of the United States with the current economic crisis that we are just beginning to enter. I hope I am wrong when I say all of this. I hope this is all hyperbole. I hope this is all just reactionary, knee-jerk reactions to what I am seeing out there. But the precedent is on my side that this would be the natural state. If you follow me on Twitter, you would know that I've been predicting war for the last few days, especially once the oil futures went down. So All I have to say is have your affairs in order because things are getting real. And I, I, I have to say, as far as if you're not the type of person who's going to end up being drafted into this war to go overseas, yay, good for you. Or maybe a war doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't. But we're still going into an economic depression. Major meat manufacturers' plants have shut down. So you're going to have to start to see meat shortages occur. You're going to start to see shortages with vegetables and fruits, as well as farmers don't have the labor to be able to harvest the crops. What happens if you have people who are hungry? They can't get meat, they can't get vegetables. Oh, if you live in places like Michigan or Vermont, you can't even buy seeds to plant vegetables. Guys, there's so much going on here. This could be a very, very long rant, but I am going to stop right there. All I want to say now is thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys are the reason I keep doing this. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. Consider supporting me on Patreon if you can, but if you can't, just comment down below. Love you guys. Deuces.